have our own Senior Associate of Business Development giving you all an overview of what RPAG can do for you as an advisor.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ashley. I appreciate that very kind introduction. And thank you all for joining me today to take a look at what we believe is the most powerful practice management platform in the retirement industry. Hopefully you're here because you're an advisor who is serious about growing your book of business and you need some support to do that. If that's you, then you're in the right place today. So like Ashley said, my name is Luke Vandermillen Jr. I'm a senior associate on the new business development team here at RPAG. And today we'll be taking a look at how some advisors have leveraged our tools and technology here at RPAG to win new business. So one of the most common questions I get asked when I'm talking to advisors about how to grow their business is, what are other advisors doing? What do you see in the marketplace? What are best practices? And so today I thought I would go through a few different tools and technology as well as a case study on how advisors have leveraged some of our different resources to win new business. So just as a quick introduction to who we are here at RPAG, we are like I said earlier, a practice management platform designed to help advisors grow their book of business in the 401k space. Currently, we have over $1 trillion on our platform in terms of assets under influence. Our services touch over 10 million participants, and there's about 100,000 plans on our platform. We work with advisors all across the country in all different shapes and sizes, from large broker dealers and their agents to small RIA shops all around the country. And depending on what you've heard about RPAG before this, you might just know us as a technology platform, or might know us for some of our other services. But really here at RPAG, we provide anything that you need in terms of running your 401k book of business. So that includes things like service and support. We provide a very high level of onboarding and training, as well as a customer success team to make sure that you're getting the most out of our resources. We also have other unique solutions as well: WellCents financial wellness, low-cost CITs, along with FlexPath target date funds. And then lastly, technology to help you with scale and efficiency. Top-rated investment due diligence system, fee benchmarking platforms, data integration with record keepers, and practice management tools to help you manage your workflow and scheduling as well. So like I mentioned a little bit at the top of the call today, a lot of advisors come to RPAG that fall into one or most of these buckets here. They're looking for a platform that has all tools under one roof. They're serious about growing their book of business. They're looking for differentiators. They need help with best practice and thought leadership ideas. They need help with efficiency and saving time and energy. My friend Jesse Taylor, I like to steal a little quote from him, talks about return on energy. How can advisors get the most return on their energy and their effort? And lastly, back office support, technology, reporting, investment due diligence systems, etc. All of that is provided under one roof here at RPAG. And like I said a minute or so ago, we will be sending these slides out as follow-up here, but I wanted to put this on the screen for you just to get an idea of some of the different tools and technology that we offer here at RPAG. Like I said, practice management, investment due diligence, et cetera, et cetera. This isn't even everything that we offer. Can fit it all on one slide. So my most important takeaway for you all today is that if you're interested in learning more about RPAG or want to talk about how RPAG can help your practice, please feel free to reach out to me directly after this call today. All my contact information will be posted at the end, and Ashley did a phenomenal job already posting it for us. So please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to schedule some one-on-one time with you to talk in more specifics about your firm. So the name RPAG is a rather large brand within the retirement industry, but you may recognize us from some of the other brands that operate under the RPAG umbrella. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the RPAG suite of technology and practice management resources. We also have FlexPath Solutions and Strategies, which is the fastest growing CIT fund family in the industry. We have a plan fees fee benchmarking platform that's available for advisors to quickly and efficiently benchmark the fees for their clients and prospects. And lastly, we have a financial wellness program called WellCents that helps advisors engage one-on-one with employees in an efficient manner. So again, the brand RPAG has a lot of different tentacles here, and we'll be touching on a little bit of each of these as well. So before I get into, the technology and the case study we're going to be looking at today, I wanted to reiterate the service that we provide here at RPAG. We're not just a technology platform. We're a service company that offers a technology platform. We provide thought leadership in all the different categories that you see here right now, whether it's, talking to our in-house ERISA team about ERISA compliance questions. We have an in-house investment team that's staffed with CFA charter holders and former portfolio managers, target date fund consulting, RFP specialists for fee benchmarking. Any scenario that you come up with a client or prospect, I guarantee that RPAG has an expert in-house that can help you along with that solution and help provide you and guide you in the right direction there. So a lot of service provided here, as well as support behind our platform as well. So I like to put names to faces. So on this page here is a quick look at some of the phenomenal folks we have in-house here at RPAG, whether it's Kellen, Matt, and Matt on our investment team to help you with, our investment due diligence, as well as our collective investment trusts, our practice management guru, Jeff Cheshire, and then the day-to-day support as well. Our customer success team operates both a phone line that you can call into, as well as a support email inbox that advisors can email into with any sort of questions, and our support team will make sure to get you linked up with the right individual there. So a lot of support to go along with the vast amount of resources that we offer advisors with our platform. We also, in terms of support that we offer a very involved onboarding process where we help you every step of the way get set up on our platform, proactively train you and your teammates at no additional cost, and then provide reactive support and practice management best practices on an ongoing basis. Again, you have a new member or new individual starting at your firm and need to get them up to speed on, how to use RPAG or how to run investment reviews on our platform. You just email or call into our support team and we'll get something set up for you at no additional cost. So service and support are a huge part of the value proposition that we provide here at RPAG and are a large differentiator for our platform. So today, what I'm going to be doing, as I mentioned earlier, is I picked a case study. I picked a plan from a 5,500 search engine and put together a few deliverables that are available on the RPAG platform to show you the power of our platform and also how dynamic it can be in terms of providing value to your clients and prospects. So before I get into the case study that we'll be looking at today, I wanted to touch on a couple of our platform resources that I won't be mentioning throughout the case study. First is our resource center, which is stuffed with hundreds of marketing and thought leadership pieces that are white labeled that you can pull directly from our website with just a click of a button. On the left-hand side of that slide there, you can see some of the different types of resources we have within that resource center. Flyers and one-pagers, leave-behinds for prospect or client meetings, market commentary, presentations. I mentioned our ERISA team earlier. One of the great things they do for our member advisors is put together presentations regulations on things like Secure Act 2.0 or the CARES Act, whatever the most current and recent legislation is, our ERISA team puts together presentation content that our advisors can take off of our website, replace the RPAG branding with their own, and then present to clients and prospects. And so much more within this resource center: IPS templates, employee-facing memos, plan sponsor-facing memos, document templates, presentation templates, any sort of firepower that we can provide here for you at RPAG, we're going to put into this resource center for you. So I wanted to start there to let you know that if you have any needs for marketing or prospecting collateral, the RPAG Resource Center can absolutely help you with that. I mentioned practice management a few moments ago, and I wanted to real quick bring up a snapshot of some of the business intelligence dashboards that are available through our RPAG Advisor Portal. Really what these are meant to do is roll up your entire plan business into one screen to show you different insights into your book of business. How many plans are using a specific fund? What's your AUM with a particular provider? Within your whole book of business, how many funds are scoring acceptable versus on the watch list versus up for removal, etc. If you have multiple consultants working for you, you can slice and dice this data to take a look at, which of your advisors is a top performer. And then also we have some workflow management tools as well. Our service plan within RPAG allows you to build out a customized service plan for each of your clients. And then on a macro level here, this dashboard is going to track for you what upcoming meetings do you have, what tasks are coming up, etc., so that you can make sure that you're providing timely and effective service for both your clients and prospects. One of the most common questions I get asked about the technology side of our platform is, do you have a vault to store important fiduciary documents? And of course we do. It's called the Fiduciary Briefcase, which is fully integrated into the RPAG Advisor Portal, which you can upload with just a click of a button, whether it's meeting minutes, reports, committee charters, important plan documents. Anything that you create or upload into RPAG with just a click of a button can be dropped into your client's fiduciary briefcase so that your clients have 24/7 access to all of the important fiduciary documentation that they need. So instead of calling you in the middle of the night asking for their Q1 2021 investment report, you can just give them a login to the fiduciary briefcase and have them pull it and have 24/7 access to those materials. Like I mentioned earlier, we also have a financial wellness platform here at RPAG called WellCents, which is an employee engagement resource that is technology-based, that helps advisors reach out to employees, provide them with an assessment to do some fact-finding for the advisor, and then directly through the WellCents app or website, the employees can schedule a one-on-one meeting with an advisor as well. Advisors also get access to employer level reporting with WellCents, so they can take all of the assessments that they've gathered for a particular employer and roll those up into an actual deliverable report that they can take back to the HR department, the business owner, whoever you're working with, to show them what insights you've found through collecting this data from their actual employees. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't at least briefly mention, due to our size and scale here at RPAG, we've been able to negotiate some exclusive discounts on some of the top funds in the industry with single manager CITs here. So RPAG members get exclusive access to these CITs, which on average are about a 34% savings off the lowest cost mutual fund. For instance, Putnam Large Value, PIMCO Ray International, top fund managers available at RPAG exclusive prices. So that was a nice segue there into, what we'll be talking about today in terms of a case study and how some of our advisors have been able to leverage our platform to win new business. So today we're going to be talking about a company that I found on Larkspur Executive, which is RPAG's partner for 5,500 search data. Just a couple quick points about this plan that I found. It's a marketing and technology company. It's based in the Midwest, about $21.5 million in assets with almost 200 participants. And what we did was kind of went through and created reports for this particular prospect to show exactly where the revenue sources are coming from, to quantify the plan data and compare it to benchmarks and things like that. And then also what our objective was if we were an advisor, to actually go into this prospect and to show them the value that we as an RPAG advisor can provide them. So we'll go ahead and get off the slide deck here and pull up some live demo stuff here. So the first thing I want to start with is Larkspur Executive, which, like I mentioned, is a 5,500 search engine that RPAG partners with. This is a very powerful search engine in the fact that you can search the 5,500 database for plans in your area, but not just plans in your area, but there's also hundreds of different filters that you can apply to your search, whether it's, we want to look for plans that don't have a QDIA or don't have auto enroll, or we want to look for plans that have a specific provider, or we want to look for plans that are between a certain asset size. All of that can be done through Larkspur here. Larkspur, RPAG advisors get exclusive pricing on Larkspur, so a huge value add in terms of prospecting and sales enablement for you to create a targeted prospect list through this and even send out emails to key contacts. So this particular plan that I found here, like I mentioned, I pulled the assets and the participants off of it. And you can see here, not only do we get basic 5,500 data here on the far left, I can pull up the 5,500 on a year-by-year basis and pull that information out. But we also get some nice proprietary ratings from Larkspur to show how this plan is performing. We can benchmark the plan based on its size, look at contributions, things like that. So a lot of great information here within Larkspur to pull right from the site here. And then as I scroll down, a couple other key points. Larkspur also includes plan executive contact information. So you can see here, we have some of the contact information for this particular plan here. We even have the president CEO's contact, both phone number and email right here for us to pull, and a link to their LinkedIn page as well. So now we have the contact information for this plan. What else can we find through Larkspur? Like I mentioned earlier, Larkspur does a great job of flagging plans that have possible areas of deficiency. So whether it's, they don't have auto enroll or they have loans against the plan, Larkspur will flag that for you and allow you to search for plans that have those particular red flags. And then towards the bottom here, we have the actual plan holdings. So we have the actual holdings that this plan has that we can take a look at and look at their fund lineup and say, okay, what does this fund lineup particularly look like at this point? Where are the areas of weakness, et cetera? I mentioned earlier, RPAG has a proprietary investment due diligence system where we have our own scorecard system that rates funds on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And those scores for the funds actually populate here within Larkspur Executive, so that's going to be this column on the far right. So the idea here is you could pull all this information from Larkspur Executive, and then to kind of transition here to the RPAG Advisor Portal, this is going to be your one-stop shop for not only servicing your clients in your current book of business, but also all of your prospects as well. So within RPAG, you can easily create a page for either a client or a prospect by clicking this plus sign here. And what it's going to create is a page that looks a lot like the one that we're looking at here, where you can store any granular piece of information that you need to on your clients or prospects. So whether that's contact information, meeting agendas and meeting minutes, you can store notes here. Like I mentioned as well, you can upload things into clients' fiduciary briefcases as well. All of that's available here. And then as I continue through this page, again, you'll see more and more data that you can house here if you'd like. And then as I scroll down to the bottom of this page, we're going to see the service plan here that I mentioned earlier, where you can actually mark out what services you're going to be providing this client on an annual basis, whether it's doing investment due diligence or fee benchmarking in a given month. When are you going to be meeting with the clients? And that all feeds into that dashboard on the first page that we looked at that says upcoming meetings, tasks to do, etc. So that all flows from each individual client's page here. And then as I scroll down here, this is a quick look at some of the plan data that you can store on RPAG. If it's a current client of yours, we can set up a data feed directly with the record keeper to have your investment lineups flow in on a monthly basis and update all of those funds and assets automatically for you. You can import the fees and plan level demographics in here as well. You can also input plan design features. And the beauty of having all of this on one page is that all of our reporting is accessible on this very same page. So if I wanted to pull an investment review report that we'll look at in a minute, or do a quick fee benchmarking through Plan Fees Prism, or do a full-fledged provider analysis to do a provider search, I can do all of that with this information that we have stored here on an ongoing basis. So let's take a look at some of the reporting here that I put together for this particular plan. Now, for this lineup here, what I did was create a total cost analysis. And essentially what we're looking at here is on the left-hand side, the current lineup for the fund, for the prospect that we're looking at. You can see the prospect, which the information I pulled off of Larkspur, has the American Funds A shares and a few other funds and some smattering of asset classes. And what I did through the RPAG system was take a look at what better funds are out there for this particular plan. So you can see far left, we have the different asset classes. In the middle column here, we have the score that the fund receives. So for example, if we highlight mid-cap value here, we see the fund is scoring a 4 out of 10 on the RPAG scoring methodology, which is a little bit lower than we'd like. But what we did here for this prospect was show them that, hey, we can swap this out for a different mid-cap value fund, or even better, use a RPAG CIT as well. So, you go in, you pull the fund lineup from Larkspur Executive and see that the fund lineup currently has Putnam Large Cap Value within it. You can actually go to that plan and say, hey, Putnam Large Cap Value is a great fund, but we can actually get that for 40% off what you're currently getting it. And then at the bottom here, you're going to see the assets and the fees all totaled up and rounded out in a nice way for you, so that you get a very clear look that, not only are we replacing the low performing funds in your lineup with 9s and 10s, but we also lowered your investment expense by 10 basis points here. So the total cost analysis is a great way to start on a very high level with the fund lineup to compare what the plan currently has versus what you can provide it as the advisor. So a great value proposition in that sense. What you also have the capability to do through RPAG is put together a full-fledged fiduciary investment review. So the beautiful thing about RPAG reporting is the reporting can be, just 1 or 2 pages like we were just looking at with the total cost analysis, or you can put together a really beautiful and robust investment review report that's 50 plus pages. An important thing to note here as well is that the RPAG reporting suite can all be private labeled as well. So this investment review that we're going to take a look at here, you'll see some kind of navy blue, orange, and teal branding that matches RPAG's, but just keep in the back of your mind that if you decided to use RPAG as your platform, we can set it up on the back end where your reports are going to match your report colors are going to match your firm's branding, whether that's green and white or blue and yellow or whatever it is. We can build that in the back end so that every time you create a report, it's going to pull in your firm's information as well as match the branding of your firm as well. So real quick, I'm going to buzz through this this investment review real quick. I won't go through all 57 pages, I promise. I'll just give you a few of the highlights here. So the first thing I wanted to show is the service plan here that we mentioned earlier. That was the timeline that you saw on the RPAG Advisor Portal that showed when exactly we're going to be meeting with clients as well as prospects. And so what this service plan does, it actually exports into a one-pager that you can drop into any report that you create to show a client or prospect exactly what services you provide their plan. So instead of, the plan sponsor thinking that you're just showing up once or twice a year with a report in your hand, you can actually lay out for them all on one page all the different services that you're providing this plan. So it's a great value proposition for both clients and prospects to show them what you're bringing to the table as an advisor. I mentioned our ERISA team a little bit earlier, and I also mentioned at the top of this that this is an investment review. But since our reporting is so dynamic here at RPAG, the fiduciary investment review doesn't have to be limited to just investment information. I dropped in here a quarterly fiduciary legal briefing that our ERISA team puts together on a quarterly basis. This particular legal briefing goes over Secure Act 2.0, which is very prevalent right now in our industry. So this is pre-made for you. Again, you can drop it into your investment review or any other report with just a click of a button. So you're not pigeonholed into doing an investment review report and only showing investment analytics. You can also show, what's going on Capitol Hill right now. You can show fee analysis or plan design analysis. So the investment review can actually be much more of a comprehensive plan review as well. Looks like we got a quick question here in the chat. Do you have integration capabilities with record keepers for investment lineups? Yes, we absolutely do. We integrate with pretty much every record keeper out there to feed data into our platform on a monthly basis to automatically update the plan's investment lineups. So we absolutely integrate with record keepers there on that sense. So moving along here, I mentioned our investment team. They put together a quarterly market review that our advisors are free to use if they'd like. By no means do you have to use it. You can also upload your own custom market commentary into this as well. If you're looking for, if you want to upload other custom documents into this report, our system has the capability to do that. So very nice and robust quarterly market review that was put together by, again, that team of CFA charter holders that we have on staff here at RPAG. I'm going to skip through this a little bit. And then we have pages that go over the RPAG scorecard methodology. Again, I mentioned we have a 10-point system that we use to evaluate funds and their appropriateness for inclusion in a retirement plan. And so I'm happy to send this information as follow-up to anyone that's interested in talking about this further. But at a high level, we're looking at a 0 to 10 point scale, 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. And an important thing to note about our investment methodology here is that we evaluate different strategies with different criteria. So for example, I'm looking at the active strategies criteria here. We evaluate those funds based on a mix of style, risk return, peer group, and qualitative factors to come up with that 10-point score that we assigned it. But if I scroll down here to our passive strategies methodology, where we're looking at index funds and those types of things, you're going to see a different weighting and metrics that are applied to these funds. Our investment team are big believers in apples to apples comparison. So we don't feel like it's appropriate to compare an index fund to a return seeking active large cap value fund. So different methodologies here allow you to kind of slice and dice this data here to take a look at how the funds are performing in terms of their stated investment objective. What is the fund manager trying to do? Are they meeting that criteria? And then just as a quick show here with one of our investment due diligence deliverables, we have our scorecard, which takes a look at the lineup, analyzes it, and then shows where funds are winning and losing points. Not only do you have the ability to show the current fund lineup here, but just like with that total cost analysis report that I showed you folks, we can also show different funds in comparison with each other. So if we're swapping out one large cap growth fund for another, we can show them side by side here and show them, okay, your current large cap growth fund is scoring a 7. We recommend switching into this large cap growth fund that's scoring a 10 out of 10. And with this investment report, you can include dozens of different modules within this report. So whether it's returns data, peer group analysis, style box to show asset class coverage, different plan design and fee benchmarking modules as well can all be included in this report. And so I put this report together for the plan that we were looking at, made a few fund recommendations directly from the RPAG site. So very powerful investment due diligence deliverables that are available at your fingertips through RPAG. But I want to switch gears here a little bit and get away from the investments to talk about fee benchmarking and analyzing a plan's fees. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Larkspur Executive allows you to search for plans. You can pull up their 5,500 data. You can get plan contact information for key account executives at the particular plan. But if one of the ways that I've seen advisors win a lot of business is by using our fee benchmarking and provider search tools to show plan sponsors where they might be being overcharged or where they might be being underserviced. And so what we recommend in this particular case is to reach out to plan sponsor contacts to either get the 408B2 fee disclosure or the 404A5 fee disclosure. In my personal opinion, the 408B2 fee disclosure does a really good job of showing the plan level fees. The 404A5 can get a little bogged down with participant level fees, but both are good in terms of getting analysis, getting information for you to run your analysis with our tools here. So I brought this example up here again. This is the plan that we were looking at the beginning. This is our plan fees fee benchmarking platform. This is a quick and efficient way to pull a quick benchmark on what a plan should be paying given their participant count and asset size. So what you can see here on our screen is very limited amount of data points to run this report. Again, we're looking at about a $21.5 million plan with 180 participants. I was able to get their fee information with their investments, record keeping, and advisory fees. If you don't have access to that information, that's not an issue because you can actually still run the benchmark here and see, okay, even though I don't have the fee information for a current plan, let me see what a plan of this size would be currently paying. It's a great way to pique a plan sponsor's interest who might be hesitant to send you fee information to show them, hey, we have a benchmarking tool that can show you what you should be paying for investments, administration, record keeping, and advisory fees. I've seen a lot of advisors take that approach there. And then what our system does is provide you with a benchmark here where on the far left side, again, we see the fee information that I input at the very top of our page, looking at investment record keeping and advisory fees, and then totaling it out on the bottom. And what you're going to see here is a low, average, and high, which are just the 25th, 50th, and 75th percentile of the benchmark that we set up above with these sliders here. So for this particular benchmark, since it's about a $21 million plan, I decided to look at plans between $10 million and $30 million here. We have about 2,000 plans that fall in that space. We can even add an additional filter here to put in, hey, let's look at plans between 10 and 30 million that also have between 130 and 240 participants, shrink that universe down a little bit. And I also have the ability to customize this as well. So if I want to shrink this band a little bit and look at plans between 15 and 30 million, I can shrink that down a little bit. And you can see the information is going to dynamically change for us right there. So what the idea behind this report is that you get a very clear and easy to understand range of what the plan should be paying in these different fee categories. So looking at our investments at the very top here with 50 basis points, you can see the low or the 25th percentile of our data set is about 30 basis points, and the high or the 75th percentile is about 49 basis points. And so what this analysis told me was that, hey, the investment lineup, it looks a little high. There's, 50 basis points is over the 75th percentile there. So we might want to talk to the plan sponsor about getting into some lower cost investments. And then we can also take a look at the record keeping fee here as well, 60 basis points. Okay, 60 basis points is over that high again with 48 basis points. So it might be a good conversation starter as well to talk about, hey, are you satisfied with your current record keeper? How does the service look like? Because, you're paying a high amount for your particular plan. And so, is the service matching? Is the service matching the price? Are you getting what you pay for, et cetera? And then lastly, with the advisory fees here, this particular advisor is charging 10 basis points for the plan, which you can see here is particularly low for plans of this size. But what I think this tells me here is that this advisor is not charging very much because they're probably not doing a ton for this particular plan. And since we isolated these different fee components, we can see that even though the total fees total up to about 120 basis points here, we see that the high is 121 basis points. So from a total cost standpoint, the plan is kind of in the range towards the high side of what we would see for a plan of this size. But we also notice that, hey, the advisory fees are low. Let's talk about the advisor services, et cetera. This all is going to export for you into a nice 5-page report that you can take to a client or prospect that breaks down all of that information that we looked at. So again, you see information on the benchmark, you see, the current plan cost versus that low, average, and high. And again, you can see the differences in terms of, okay, how much are we paying in terms of, the investments, record keeping, et cetera. So this plan fees fee benchmarking platform is a great way to get your foot in the door with plan sponsors, especially if you can get some of that fee data to show them, hey, you might be overpaying and being underserviced here. Now, in terms of the record keeping fees, for instance, let's say we talk to this plan sponsor and they say, our current record keeper, we've had a bunch of service problems with them. We're not really, we don't really feel like, we're getting a ton out of them. And, now we know we're paying them a pretty penny for their services. What can we do about it? Well, with the record keeping fees, the best way to lower those is take the plan out to bid, which, as you can probably guess, you can do through RPAG as well. So what I pulled up here is our provider analysis report, which is our most comprehensive and detailed provider search report, where directly through the RPAG system, you can have the current plan information and send it to record keepers that you'd like to receive a quote from, and have those record keepers upload a quote directly into the RPAG system for you. So instead of, gathering proposals and making phone calls outside of the system and then cobbling them together and manually inputting the information into Excel or whatever other program that you're using, the record keepers do all the work for you. They receive the quote request via email through our system, and then they can upload their quotes into our system. And then with just a couple clicks of a button, you as the advisor can download this nice report that shows in an apples to apples comparison what exactly the current pricing looks like versus the quotes that you receive from other providers. So it's a great next step in terms of showing a plan sponsor, hey, our plan is currently, very high. So we have about 60 basis points here for the record keeping fee. What would other providers charge us? Well, we can go out to, provider A, B, and C here. And as you can see, with the new business quotes that we've received, the plan cost can get lowered as much as, $13,000 depending on what provider we choose to select here. This particular report, for example, also can get really into the weeds in terms of how revenue sharing is distributed that's generated from the fund lineup. We have tons and tons of different data points that can be included within this report. Benefit events, compliance services that you see here. If I scroll down a few more pages here, you'll also see a good example of our plan service highlights section, which is a 400 plus data point questionnaire that we keep on file for our members to put into their reports, that basically goes over all of the services provided by each record keeper, whether it's plan document compliance, or cash accounts, or hey, do you offer a mobile app for participants? All of that can be added into this report here so that you have a sufficient amount of fiduciary documentation to justify moving from provider A to provider B. So again, provider analysis, very, very detailed report. And then the previous report that we looked at, the plan fees fee benchmarking report, is going to be more of a quick and concise report that allows you to get a look at, what kind of the industry average is in terms of fees that are being paid by plans of a similar size. And as my friend Ashley mentioned towards the beginning of this call, I'd be remiss if I didn't pull up our latest and greatest report that we just released this week, actually, called the RFP Express. And essentially, the RFP Express is kind of a hybrid between those two reports we just looked at, the plan fees fee benchmarking and the provider analysis. What the RFP Express allows you to do is, just like in plan fees, where I was putting in, hey, we have a $5 million plan that has $21 million plan that has 187 participants. Here's their investment record keeping and advisory fees. Instead of spitting out a benchmark that's based on plan size, what we've actually done here at RPAG is worked directly with record keepers and had them input the pricing grids that they use for small plans, typically $10 million and under. This many assets by this many participants equals this amount of record keeping charge, and put together a platform called RFP Express, where you can get essentially instant and customized quotes if you'd like. So this report, again, is going to follow a lot of the same plan fees branding. And as I scroll down here, we still have service information that's directly from that service highlights section that I showed you a moment ago. You also get information on the quotes you received. Is there a TPA, 316, et cetera. And then a very similar look to that provider analysis here, where not only do we get all of the quotes that we received through this RFP Express platform, we also get the plan fees average here, where we can see, okay, based on that plan fees database that we have here at RPAG, what should a plan of this size be paying? And so you not only get the industry benchmark that you get with plan fees, but also the different quotes and information for different providers here that you see listed. Now, it's important to note here that with RFP Express, like I mentioned earlier, this is really meant for kind of the smaller plan market. So really anything 10 million and under. You can still receive customized quotes as well. So just like that provider analysis I was talking about, you can still send a quote request to providers that participate in that RFP Express platform. And really the idea here is that instead of, especially for a smaller plan, going through all of these different data points to look at what provider is right for us, we can use RFP Express in just a day to put together a lineup of quotes that we've received through this system to show a small plan. Okay, if you move to provider A, B, or C, here's what your pricing would look like. So I know I just went through a lot there, folks, and I know I didn't even cover all of what we have to offer here at RPAG. So like I said at the beginning of the call today, if you have any questions about how RPAG can help a firm like yours, or if you're looking for, if you want to ask some questions about one of our particular resources, please feel free to reach out to myself or my colleague, Jesse Taylor. Our contact information is up on the screen here. My email is lukev@rpag.com. You can also give us a call. My direct line is going to be 949-418-6055. And then you can also reach out to Jesse as well. But I guess my last action items here are going to be, after the call take a look at the tool stack that you have for your practice right now. Are you wasting time? Are you losing efficiency? And what differentiators do you have? Are you showing up with the same report that other advisors are showing up with that was just made in Excel? Do you have an institutional level investment due diligence platform? Do you have a fee benchmarking platform? All of those different things are available here through RPAG as well. So folks, I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with me today and to take a look at what we have to offer. Just as a reminder, again, if you want to reach out to me, my email is lukv@rpag.com, or you can reach out to us at support@rpag.com, and they'll get you over to me as well. But folks, I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a great rest of your week, and hopefully hear from some of you very soon. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.